Today we're here with Kiwi music maestro Joel Little. Thanks so much for joining us today, Joel, and can't wait to discuss about Big Fan and Music Helps and all these amazing things you've been doing over the past couple of years.
Cool, man. Thanks for having me.
You know, you've been based in LA for a little while and now you're back here. How do you split your time now?
It's a little different now. I used to travel back and forth pre-COVID. I was doing like crazy. I was doing like 3 weeks here, 2 weeks in LA, like back and forth, traveling way too much. But now I've got a little 4-year-old as well as our 2 older kids, and so I'm trying to just keep the balance a bit more, leaning a bit more towards New Zealand. So I'm over there. I've been over there a couple of times this year. I'm going again in a few weeks, just for like a week or 2 at a time. Yeah, always trying to get the balance right between family and work.
Yeah, I see you've been doing a bit of work with Marin recently. How was that experience? Because I know you've delved into country pop before, obviously with Taylor Swift and that kind of vibe. How was it working this time in that space?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, she's so awesome, so talented, and just got the craziest voice. So yeah, it's fun. I just like to kind of keep it varied and just work with a bunch of different people. If I've been doing a lot of music in one lane, it's nice to be able to mix it up and go and write in a slightly different sort of world. So yeah, Marin's great, and she's coming down to New Zealand to play some shows early next year, which will be cool too.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, when you work with all these kind of big artists, can you give us a little bit of an insight into your creative process? So does it differ between artists? Do you have a set way of working? Does it depend on the space and the artist? How does that work?
Yeah, it's just different every time. I mean, sometimes an artist will come in with the start of an idea. Other times they'll want to hear like some sounds or some music. So I have like a bunch of tracks that we can work off of. Other times they just want to pick up guitars and play that way, or jump on a piano. And there's not really any rules. It's just kind of whatever people need to do to feel inspired that day is kind of the road that we go down, it's taken me a while to learn how to do that. Like, that wasn't something that I could do right off the bat, but I've been doing it for a while now, so.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously our friend Lorde is just about to release a fantastic new album and do some amazing music.
Yeah.
Do you look back on that and look at how, that journey and how far she's come and reflect on that journey as well?
Oh yeah, I mean, always so grateful for that. I mean, it genuinely changed both of our lives and the lives of everybody around us. Basically, it was such a crazy time that was not expected at all. We were just making music in my studio, Golden Age, which is actually just a few hundred meters away from here. And yeah, we just had zero expectations. We were just trying to make something that we liked, that we thought was interesting. It obviously took on a life of its own. And yeah, now it's always nice when she's releasing new music, and yeah, she comes back and saves pop music every 3-4 years. So yeah, I'm excited to hear the new stuff.
Definitely. And obviously, the music industry is quite brutal. It's quite a brutal industry, as we know. Mm-hmm. How do you when challenges do come up and you do struggle with, I don't know if it's long hours or frustrating creative processes, how do you get over that and how do you push through?
Creatively, I feel like you just have to. Sometimes you just need to step back and give yourself a minute. But I find generally, if I feel like I'm not writing very good songs at a particular time, I just have to keep writing. I'm almost like, I got to get this out of my system, like get these crappy ones out the way, and then make room for the good ones. So I just kind of keep at it. Yeah, it's a tough industry, especially in New Zealand, to make a living off of. And that's why places like Big Fan and organizations like Music Helps are super important.
Exactly, that's a perfect segue. So we're here in this amazing studio, Big Fan. Can you tell us about the inception of Big Fan and how that came about?
Yeah, sure. So Big Fan, when my wife and I moved back from LA, we were in a position where we could do something to give back. And I feel like for me and my career, I wouldn't be where I am if there hadn't been certain people along the way that had said the right thing, given me a little opportunity, like just these little that seem like small things at the time, but when I look back on them, I'm like, man, if that guy hadn't said, just like with my band Goodnight Nurse, for example, there was a guy, Arthur Basting, who was like, I was trying to find a singer. I was like, I don't know if we're ever going to find a singer. And he's like, you should just do it. And like, maybe I was like, I can't sing. And he was like, well, it doesn't matter. Like, just start, and either you'll get better or you'll find someone, or you'll just be sitting around on your ass, like trying to, waiting for something to happen that might never happen. So little things like that along the way helped me in a huge way. And so we wanted Big Fan to be that place for people. We want to provide opportunities for people to upskill, to connect with other like-minded people, to learn, we run workshops here, we give away free studio time, we do writing camps, all sorts of different things, and it's a not-for-profit organization. So yeah, anyone that comes and uses the studios, any money that's made here just goes straight back into all of the programs that we do for free for other people. Yeah, so it's been a really fulfilling thing to do.
Awesome. And you got the performance venue as well downstairs, which is pretty cool. Cool little space.
Yeah, we got the venue downstairs. It's all ages venue. There's not a lot of those around, and so it's like important that people that are underage have an opportunity to see gigs and also to play on stage. So we've had situations where people have come, written their first song here, recorded their first song here, and played their first show downstairs here, and then come back 6 months later and played a headlining show here with 4 times as many people as were here the first time. So seeing those kind of things happen, seeing a place like this working that way is super fulfilling and exciting.
Also, you're doing quite a bit with Music Helps now. It's New Zealand Music Month.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a bit about Music Helps and how important that is within the kind of Kiwi music sector at the moment and what it does?
Yeah. I mean, Music Helps is a charitable organisation that's been around for a long time. I've been a board member for maybe 5 years, and they fund hundreds of projects across the country every year that use music in various ways to help people out, whether that be music therapy or providing instruments to community groups, or they go people that are in palliative care or rest homes, or people. There's just so many different ways that and organizations that are using music to help people in all sorts of different ways. So they fund a lot of that, and then the other arm of it is, as we were saying before, in the music industry, it's quite a hard industry to be in, and a lot of people with mental health issues or are struggling in various ways, and so there's a well-being service that people in the industry, not just musicians, but people that are behind the scenes, like rigging lights or putting on shows or managing or whatever, they can access counselling and access hardship grants and things like that. So really important work. And it's New Zealand Music T-shirt Day next Friday, May 30th. So just encouraging people to get their office together, everyone wear their favourite New Zealand band T-shirt, donate some money to Music Helps, compete against your fellow co-workers or other officers, and just do what they can to give back.
In terms of your next steps, what are you kind of, obviously this is a big part of what you're doing now, but anyone you can tell, any discussions that are going on, you can give us a little bit of a...
It's a funny industry because I'll write songs with so many different people, and some of them come out and some of them don't. So for example, a couple of weeks ago I was in Nashville and I was writing with Noah Khan, who I've worked on his first 2 albums, and he's just he's a good friend and he's the man. And we wrote a couple of great songs, but whether or not they come out is yet to be decided. So there's always things like that happening. I'm going to go back to the States for a while into June and just write with a bunch of friends over there. And so I've had the couple of Marin Hoxha songs come out recently, which is great. And then there's a few things in the pipeline, but I always, until they actually come out, I always don't want to talk about it.
Of course. You're obviously a dad as well, and that's a big part of your life as well. Are the kids really into their music, or have they taken a bit of a different...
They are, but they just, as long as I don't bother them about it and don't hassle them in any way. Yeah, they are, but my 17-year-old, she plays guitar and sings, and she's great. But she was, the other day, she's in a band at school, and I was saying, oh, you guys should try write some original songs, and she goes, nah, we just like playing covers, Dad, sorry, the legacy dies with you.
Oh, classic.
I was like, okay, that's fair. They all are musically talented, I think, but I feel like if I try and get involved, they just leave us alone.
And just to kind of finish off, any advice for any young musicians out there that are really wanting to make a start and get into the music industry?
I would just say don't wait. Don't wait and hope that something's going to fall into your lap. If there's a thing that's stopping you... I became a producer because I was writing so many songs that I didn't have... I had a friend who for a while I could go to and be like, hey, I've got this song, can I come and record it at your place? But then he got busy and he couldn't do that anymore. And I was like, oh, well, I've got all these songs. I'm just going to buy a super cheap little microphone and start figuring out how to record it myself. That's how I became a producer, was just, taking that small step, and then, things just evolve. But if you just wait around and expect things to come to you, you could be waiting forever. So I just say, just get out there and make it happen.
Go for gold. Absolutely.